This might be an uncomfortable truth to hear, but you might not need another psychedelic experience. You might actually not need more insight. And in this video I want to explain why actually more psychedelic experiences, more insight, is keeping you stuck on your path of self-actualization and self-realization, on the path of unfolding your potential. Because it's not that psychedelics don't work. Psychedelics are great. Like, I love them, absolutely. But they're especially great at changing your state, briefly, right? They're allowing us access to an altered state. But they're not so great at changing our baseline of integrating altered states. That work is still somewhat on us. And it's about how we are relating to the psychedelic experience that makes all the difference. And what I see in the psychedelic community is somewhat like a paradigm of an overemphasis on the state. There's an overemphasis on going deeper, collecting more insights, going further, faster, into infinity and beyond, right? There is the theme of another retreat that we have to go to and another retreat that we have to go to. So we are fully healed and there's more to heal and there's more shadow material and it's this endless processing and there's always more. That's the truth, because the journey is infinite. But that keeps you coming back again and again and again and again into the psychedelic experience, hoping that the next one is gonna be the one that is gonna be changing your life. But then it's not. You know, you come back to your usual Monday morning and you find yourself in the logistics of your life, in the life that you have created. And of course, psychedelics are great and they make you love and appreciate your life a little bit more, but up to a certain point, there is a shift that is happening for many who journey again and again with psychedelics. There's almost like an attachment to the psychedelic high that is developing. Jamie Wheal calls it an ontological addiction. It's not that psychedelics are physically addictive, maybe not even psychologically, right? Like cannabis or some other substances, but we get addicted to the meaning, we get addicted to the revelation, we get addicted to being the one that we are on psychedelics, right? And that's dangerous because that shows a tendency to chase states, to get the desire for more altered states. But there's not enough emphasis on the altered traits. So the shadow of going repeatedly into more and more psychedelic experiences is somewhat like an escapism from reality. Even though psychedelics reveal more truth and more of reality, how we relate to them and how we use them is an escape from the ordinary, right? There's almost like an avoidance of responsibility when it comes to your day-to-day life, when it comes to your job, to your relationships, to your diet, to your habits. There is a disconnection from society that is slowly creeping in as you journey deeper and deeper and become less relatable. I see that for many, that they then kind of like have this subtle superiority and judge culture, judge the society that they live in, without actually getting into action and changing it. And what started as this beautiful journey of growth and of self-discovery kind of like becomes this endless loop of an individual pursuit of self-actualization and an individual egoistic pursuit of deeper and deeper states of consciousness. And that's the trap. Even though there's nothing wrong with that per se, and it's one of my greatest passions to explore consciousness through psychedelics, right? There are many pitfalls and dangers on the path of working with psychedelics. That is why a mature and responsible approach to this work is needed, which is not talked about enough. Because you can become a great explorer of consciousness, but still not live a great life, right? You can be excited about your next ceremony on Friday evening, but still return to a Monday morning that drains your soul. And this is where the gap is. This is what I feel like needs to be talked about more. It's the embodiment on Monday morning. It's to transform your Monday morning into a life that you love, into something that you so deeply move into that actually going into psychedelics is hard because you love your life so much. Because you want to do and serve and be in relationship, right? So the new paradigm that I want to propose is one where we put an emphasis of turning altered states into altered traits. We actually develop the qualities within our being on a moment-to-moment basis through serious practice, through engaging with life, right? We're going from chasing a particular state to an appreciation of all states of consciousness, not neglecting the ordinary perception that we find ourselves in most of the time, because that judgment in and of itself leads to suffering. That desire for our state to change leads to suffering. It's the core teaching of Buddhism, of what Buddhism changes. There's nothing wrong with ascending and going into deeper and deeper layers of transcendence and of reaching the one. But we also descend. The spiritual journey is one that is twofold. It's of an ascension into deeper and deeper layers of transcendence, but also it coming down into deeper and deeper layers of humanness, appreciating the struggle, appreciating the workings of the mind, seeing it all as it is, and working with psychedelics in a way that makes us more human, right? Carl H. Smith has this idea of hyperhumanism, which I love, which just brings about this emphasis on the deeper humanness that is possible. Not that we're chasing the escape of our humanness into godlike levels of consciousness, but that we're integrating them into our humanness. Because this human life is very precious, and it's very brief, to be honest. Like, we're just here for the blink of an eye, and boom, we move on. But through that, I find that it's key to give relevance to the relative. It's key to live fully in life, in society, in the place that you're in, to bring that light that you have experienced back into your day-to-day and to shine that out and to embody it. And speaking of embodiment, it's key, I have found, to look at the body, right? To really nourish the body. Because the body set is a key aspect of having the capacity to go into deeper states of consciousness. Because if our body can't hold that state of consciousness, it's gonna break down, it's gonna collapse. So somatic practices and really getting into the body, doing the simple things that nourish the body, like a great diet, enough sleep, deep breathing, shaking, all of that is key in order to have the capacity to hold what you have seen in psychedelic space. So just wanted to share that, beware of chasing insight, of attaching to bliss and of this psychedelic space. Be aware of these subtle, sneaky ways of escapism or ontological addiction, and of this endless seeking, of this endless processing. Because if that holds you back from actually taking care of your day-to-day life, of cleaning up your house, of taking care of your relationships, of finding your vocation, your calling, of what you're here to do in this life, then you've got it wrong. You've got it backwards, right? Because even though the psychedelic high might be blissful and might be beautiful, or it might be, challenging and you're just vomiting and you just enjoy that, coming back to your Monday morning is where it's at. And if that's not aligned, then what are you going into psychedelic experiences for, right? Because then you don't need another peak, because you know all that stuff. You know all the stuff that you want to work on, but you just need to become someone who can live what you already know. So if you're curious about that, if you're ready to feel that and to actually take action in your day-to-day life and transform your day-to-day life, transform your attitude towards how you show up on a moment-to-moment basis, I am offering 3 one-on-one coaching spots at the moment. So the doors are open for a very brief period of time, and if you want to work together, then you can check the link in the video description and book a call with me, or send me a message on Instagram with the word pathway, and we'll have a chat to see how we can turn your altered states into altered traits. Alright, much love.